CTV News with Jack Morse.
Now, more than 24 hours after the mayor of Barrie made national headlines, a new crisis is unfolding right on City Hall's doorstep. Tonight, just steps from the mayor's office, a fresh problem is making one thing clear: not even City Hall is immune. For the latest on what's unfolding, let's go to CTV's Rob Cooper now. Rob.
Well, Jack, every year tens of thousands of people enjoy the pond at City Hall, either to sit outside, enjoy the weather during the summer, perhaps for a skate during the winter season. This morning, the city shut it down, and the reason will surprise you. One day after the mayor of Barrie issued a state of emergency to help deal with the nearly 24 illegal encampments and the homeless issue plaguing his community, the city has been forced to shut down its fountain pond in front of City Hall. The city says the pond has been subject to vandalism, and with the presence of human waste in the water, there's also levels of detergent that have been found in the water, suggesting people have been using it as a personal bathroom and laundry facility. The encampments and hundreds of tents that randomly line city streets were behind the mayor's decision to call the state of emergency. As of tonight, Barrie's homeless population sits at just over 900 people, most of them living outside the shelter system. The city currently has about 20 shelters in operation. About 15% of those who are unhoused are considered chronically homeless. The mayor says city staff have already started to issue notices to people in tents this morning. Now, while the city staff work to deal with the mess at encampments, the city, of course, preparing for the next stage of the emergency to try and help speed things up. As for the pond and the skating rink at City Hall, we are told it will remain closed, Jack, indefinitely, but the city is, in fact, hoping to have it reopened sometime during the winter months so people can potentially enjoy it once again as a skating rink. Reporting live in Barrie, I'm Rob Cooper. Jack, let's go back to you.
Thank you, Rob. Now, a massive defense project planned for agricultural land in Clearview Township is facing fierce pushback. Tensions are running high at a public meeting in Creemore as locals voice their opposition. That's where we find CTV's Luke Simard tonight. Luke, what are you hearing?
Yeah, well, this afternoon's meetings by the Department of National Defense was the first of two in our region. Well, yesterday's sessions in Kawartha Lakes were rowdy. Today in Creemore, no different, as residents in the area blasted the DND over various subjects.
Ask them how far they live from it.
Yeah, you guys want to buy it?
Residents of Clearview Township wanting answers as the Department of Defense held an information session regarding a preliminary receive site for the Arctic Over-the-Horizon radar program, a $33 billion project to modernize the North American Aerospace Defense Command, or NORAD, over the next 2 decades. Residents bringing a variety of concerns to life during the meeting.
There's no studies, there's no information. Nobody knows what this, the potential impacts on those communities could be, so we're just at a loss.
The Department of Defense purchasing a parcel of land last spring suitable for the project, with all levels of government left in the dark until a few weeks ago.
We were advised approximately 5 weeks ago by simply an email that came to us from the Department of National Defense.
I didn't know about this project as a member of Parliament. Pretty much till it was already purchased.
A brief 20-minute presentation by the DND followed by 2 hours of concerned resident questions about the site, expropriation, home values, and more.
They're worried about the value of the property, what's going to happen to it. They're concerned about wildlife. There's talk that they're going to fill in half the Minnesing Swamp just to make a level. That's not right.
With the agricultural rooted deep in the community, now at jeopardy over these proposed site.
We're very much attached to agriculture in Clearview Township, and it is a deep rooted activity and way of life, and frankly it's the culture of our community, and so this is being threatened as a community.
A sentiment felt by the agriculture community.
Like in Simcoe County, we generate $1.2 billion worth of economic activity. 1 in 8 jobs comes from farming. And in the communities like Clearview, for example, that's probably 95% of the economic activity in Clearview. So sure, it's a big hit. And it's a big concern for a lot of the farmers in this area, too.
Now, the first session lasted just about 3 hours, running from 2 to 5 p.m. And residents will once again start arriving here shortly, as the second session will begin in under an hour. Reporting live in Creemore, I'm Luke Samar. Jack, we'll send it back inside to you.
We'll have more from Luke tonight on this at 11. Thank you, Luke. Now, in a CTV News exclusive tonight, a Barrie man allegedly at the center of a used car fraud ring investigated by Toronto Police is speaking out after all 92 charges against him were dropped. CTV's Mike Arcelidis reports on how the case against Harris Bachnick unraveled and what he plans to do now.
It was botched from the word go.
A vindicated Harris Bachnick wants everyone to know he's an innocent man who had his name and reputation dragged through the mud by Toronto Police.
Stolen vehicles were falsely registered to individuals that were not listed on the sales documents.
In all, 176 charges were laid against Bachnick and his colleague Fadi Zito, who worked in tandem at a Mitsubishi dealership in Scarborough, securing and selling luxury used cars to customers across the GTA. Police allege the men were committing fraud by knowingly selling stolen cars and trucks and altering vehicle Carfax reports and documents to cover their tracks.
I submit from the first day on, myself, the co-accused, that nobody had any part in this. Everything that we did was above board.
Ultimately, the Crown dropped all 176 counts against them following a review of what Bachnick calls a shoddy investigation into the alleged fraudulent car sales, totaling about $2.2 million.
Obviously, it's been a shock as to how shoddy it really was.
Bachnick says he kept all the documents to prove his innocence. Now he's taking aim at police who investigated him for months prior to charging him last November. Since then, Bachnick says several banks have cut ties with him and his credit rating has taken a hit. He wants police held accountable, saying he's lost hundreds of thousands of dollars due to false allegations.
I think part of it was a lack of understanding on the investigator side. They were looking at the wrong document. It may have been the right Carfax report, but it was the wrong report number, it was the wrong date. Once we were able to show the correct documents and that they weren't doctored, they weren't altered, everything fell into line pretty quickly.
Toronto Police maintain, quote, the Crown's decision does not negate the reasonable grounds upon which charges were laid or the validity of the charges related to Project Warden.
You can see that the report that
Bachnick says had police spoken with him, they never would have charged him in the first place.
We're able to now show that every single document that's been floating around has been authenticated. It is the correct document. Nobody would ever tamper with or alter that, especially under my watch. And as I've said from the beginning, for one simple reason, I was raised better than that.
Bachnick saying he now wants his dealer's license reinstated so he can get back to doing what he loves, getting customers behind the wheel of their dream car. Mike Arcelidis, CTV News, Barrie.
Now on to Casey Colby here with our first look at the weather. Casey, what's it looking like out there?
Absolutely stunning. Really stunning. A light breeze, some sunshine. Yeah, more than a couple of big puffy clouds, but absolutely lovely late summer conditions. Let's continue on with a first look at the forecast, and here we go. Brought to you by our friends at the graveldrivewayguy.com, your local gravel driveway expert. 22 degrees out here as we speak. Winds are light for the time being out of the east, 9 kilometers an hour. We'll pick up maybe 20, 25, particularly around South Georgian Bay shores this evening. 23 degrees is what we're registering as we speak in Owen Sound, 22 in Parry Sound, looks like 23 in the Sunshine City of Aurelia, 20 in Mount Forest, and 21 degrees in Newmarket. This is a look at the radar satellite images over the last couple of hours, and yes, there's some cloud cover. You see the little blue dots there that are flashing. That's anomalous propaganda is what they call in weather circles, meaning it's just radar noise. There's nothing really there to be too concerned about. However, if you like sunshine and beautiful weather as far as summer-like conditions, then there's nothing to be concerned about because we have more of that coming on the way. For how long, though, it will stick around, I'll have that answer coming up in just a few minutes' time back inside.
Thanks, Casey. Stay cool out there. Developing news out of Vaughan today. Shots fired outside a home this morning, the latest in a string of similar shootings over the past few days. Happened around 2:30 on Lady Angela Lane near Teston Road and Bathurst. Police were already on patrol in the area and responded to the scene quickly. Officers say no one was home when the shots rang out and nobody was hurt, but they arrested a suspect, a 23-year-old from Innisfil.
Investigators are connecting this to two other shootings from the weekend in Vaughan. A third incident from the weekend is being considered, as a dark Honda Civic was observed in all three of those incidents of the weekend. I want to make it clear, the address of today's incident was the intended target, not the resident.
The suspect is charged with firearm-related offenses, as well as one count of dangerous operation of a motor vehicle and one count of possession of property obtained by crime. Happening right now, emergency crews are on the scene in Richmond Hill, where a vehicle has crashed into a daycare. The crash happened around 3 this afternoon, close to Yonge Street and Nottingham Drive. Police say 10 children have been injured. One has been taken to hospital with serious injuries. The conditions of the others are still unknown. Police are continuing to investigate the cause of the crash. In the meantime, road closures surrounding the area are in place. A police investigation is underway after a mysterious package was found in Innisfil today. South Simcoe police were called to the Evelyn Gregory Way Plaza just after noon, following reports of a package with possible radioactive material. It was found inside a vehicle, and police set up a perimeter as a precaution. Innisfil Fire and Barrie Hazmat team remain on scene, working with federal agencies to safely assess and dispose of the material. Officials say there's no threat to public safety. Barrie City Council gets back underway tonight after its summer break. The elephant in the room is the Barrie state of emergency, but Mayor Alex Nuttall says he doesn't expect it to come up at council. There's nothing on the agenda about a state of emergency. With a number of zoning applications to be considered tonight, Nuttall says infrastructure development and redevelopment will be at the center of this session.
Certainly it's about making sure that our roads are ready and our systems are ready for any growth that's coming, but even more important than that for me is to make sure that those roads and those areas of the city that have been neglected and forgotten over the years get the roads fixed. If you think about the northeast part of the City of Barrie, that Duckworth Street, St. Vincent, all of those inner roads that we've been doing work on to make sure that the sewers are up to date, the water's pipes are fixed, and the roads are in great shape. It has taken decades to get that to get to this point where we're actually doing the work, and we need to make sure that we complete it all and are able to move forward.
Also on the docket, $750,000 in spending for new parade grounds for the Sea Cadets. The mayor says the city owes the group their support after the Sea Cadets gave parts of their old lands to the city. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister announced today Canada will reduce the number of temporary foreign workers and international students allowed into the country. CTV's Judy Trin explains why.
To return Canada's immigration rates to sustainable levels.
For the Prime Minister, that means reducing the number of temporary foreign workers and students to less than 5% of the total population in 2 years by the end of 2027. His predecessor, Justin Trudeau, called for a similar target to be reached earlier by 2026. Despite Carney's attempt at slowing the decline, the number of new international students enrolled this year has already dropped by more than 50%.
When you cut off the supply of international students to our universities, you're not just causing a future crisis for economy, you're causing an opportunity crisis for Canada now, because those international students were helping to pay for spaces for Canadian students to go to university.
But immigration policies are under fire again. Just days ago, both BC's premier and the opposition leader called for the temporary foreign worker program to be scrapped.
The principle is very simple. Canadian jobs for Canadian workers.
The former immigration minister disagrees.
The program shouldn't be scrapped. It definitely needs to be fixed. It has problems. There's wide LMIA fraud in the program that continues to need to be fixed. We've started to reduce the overall numbers.
Immigration data currently shows that there are 214,000 fewer international students and foreign workers compared to the same time last year. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
On that note, the province's Auditor General has started an audit into a multi-billion-dollar government program. The Auditor General's office confirmed it's looking into the training side of the province's Skills Development Fund, which the province touts as a way to encourage private companies to retrain workers. But the government couldn't answer questions about what happened with a pair of grants totaling $11 million given to Toronto restaurant chain with ties to the Premier.
If you're spending $11 million, you'd think the Minister of Labour would be able to instantly tell you how many people were trained, what that return on investment was, how many jobs were created, and he had no response.
Public sector union OPSU raised the concerns about the program, considered it was taking away from public colleges as its workers are on the brink of a strike. The skies over Midland Harbour were filled with excitement today as the Snowbirds took flight, delivering a thrilling performance that had the crowd looking up in awe.
Here they are, your 2025 Canadian versus Snowbirds.
From Edge Hill Park to Midland Bay Landing, locals and visitors lined the shores to catch a glimpse of the aerial team's incredible precision and teamwork. The weather even cooperated, ideal for watching the skies.
It's not often that I get to go back to a hometown, and we got a lot of people on our team that are from places that we usually visit, like Toronto or London, but being able to come back here and support a small community is very special for us.
This was unexpected. The Snowbirds crew reached out to me while I was down in Ottawa at the AMO, saying that they had an available opportunity to put on a show near Snowbird One's hometown, and would they be welcome? Needless to say, I asked them, I'll sign anything you want, even in blood. Come on up and put a show on.
This marked the first ever time the iconic aerobatic team lit up the skies in Midland. No word yet on if the Royal Canadian Air Force Snowbirds will soar over our region again next year. Still to come, it's a night of art, music, and meaning. How one local gala is turning entertainment into life-changing support for women and children in need. Plus, Barrie's special tribute marking 85 years since the Battle of Britain, honoring heroes who helped change the course of history. You're watching CTV News Barrie. It's an evening of music, fine food, art, and poetry with a purpose close to home.
On the last of November in 1909, I first met Rose Murphy and laid by her side.
The Heart of Red Gala is back, and it's turning compassion into action. This event shines a spotlight to support women and children escaping abuse, and it's doing it in style. Last year, the gala raised $62,000, and this year, organizers are aiming even higher.
Currently, we have about 7 children in our shelter, so you're going to make a difference in the children's lives, and that's really important to us, especially in our small community.
The Heart of Red Gala, presented by My Friend's House, happened Saturday the 20th at Side Launch Brewing Company in Collingwood. The flags were raised in honor of heroes today at Barrie City Hall, marking the 85th commemoration of the Battle of Britain.
Whereas the City of Barrie recognizes the significance of commemorating the 85th anniversary of the Battle of Britain to honor those who faced extraordinary challenges with bravery, I, Alex Nuttall, Mayor of the City of Barrie, do hereby proclaim September 8th to 14th, 2025 to be Battle of Britain Week. Thank you.
As you heard, a piper led the tribute as flags were raised in remembrance, recognizing the bravery and sacrifice of those who defended freedom 85 years ago. The ceremony, hosted by the Royal Canadian Air Force Association Huronia Wing, brought together veterans, local politicians, families, and neighbors to pay tribute.
Today we pause to remember the Battle of Britain, an historic moment in 1940.
General salute. Salute!
We have to remember and respect our history and where we are in our community. And City of Barrie is always very helpful in it, allowing us to come out and show appreciation.
More than 100 Canadians served in the battle that bloodied the skies over the English Channel and southern England. Events will be held across Barrie all week long. 2 local veterans have been honored for their outstanding volunteer service.
Congratulations, Murray. Corporal Conley, please do me the honor of standing tribute.
Retired Major Murray Lee Conley and retired Captain Monica Sargent were presented with the Sovereign's Medal for Volunteers during a ceremony at the Barrie Legion last night. Sargent has dedicated over 35 years to feeding those in need through the Red Cross and Salvation Army and helping give out 25,000 bed kits. Conley founded a nonprofit to preserve heritage aircraft and has spent decades safeguarding Canada's aviation history. The Sovereign's Medal is the highest national honor for volunteer service in Canada. Some of the 4-legged members of the Ontario Provincial Police are preparing for a big reveal this weekend. The OPP is geared up to launch their 2026 Canine Unit Calendar, an annual project highlighting the work of their dog teams. The initiative raises funds for the OPP Youth Foundation and the Friends of the OPP Museum. The calendar goes on sale Saturday during a special event at the headquarters base in Orillia, celebrating 6 decades of service by the OPP Canine Unit. For information on all our local events, along with other stories, you can go to our website. That's where you can watch our news live online and find all of our local stories and breaking news as it happens. Just head to ctvnews.ca/Barrie or scan the QR code on your screen now. The Barrie Food Bank was a busy place today, highlighting just how essential its services are. Hundreds of people visited for their first monthly shop. A full grocery pickup is available every 28 days to people who qualify. Emergency food bags are also given out to homeless people. The food bank says back-to-school season is always a demanding time for the organization. You have the chance to see its impact firsthand during an open house on the 20th. Looking for something to do this weekend, from festivals to family fun, we've got a roundup of events happening right in your community coming up. But first, let's check in with KC in the Garden.
You know, today is officially National Quiet Day. You know, calm, peaceful, beautiful, like the forecast, but not like our weather watcher artists. Yeah, they offer, Easton and Bauer offer stormy September weather. Ooh, I love it. You're watching CTV News Barrie.
Picture this, brought to you by Bounce 1041 and Pure Country 106.
A big thank you to everyone who took time to send in photos capturing a little hint that fall is on the way. You can send your photos in, changing leaves, back to school moments, harvest decor, and more all week long to Picture This at ctv.ca. Now, headed out to the garden with our favorite fall guy, KC. KC, is it fall or summer out there?
Oh, it's summer out here, and just glad you finally got to me. I was holding my breath trying to be quiet out here, so I'm a little out of breath. Let's talk about how beautiful it is and how long it will stick around. Here we go with the forecast, ladies and gentlemen. Feels good to breathe again. Here we go. Looking at the temperature outside your door as we speak, 22 degrees in Owen Sound, 22 in Parry Sound, 21 in Gravenhurst, and 23 Sunshine City of Orillia. Gorgeous. Any time of year, I might add. Quick look. This is a look at the almanac for today. There it is, high 22, low 7, 22 and 7. We're doing all right. A record 33 degrees back in 1983 and 0, 1883, 100 years prior. Sunrise, sunset, looks like 12 hours, 42 minutes of daylight. Roll that forecast radar, if you could please. Chris Gary taking a look at the forecast radar. Looking pretty good, isn't it, eh? Feel like sunshine? You feel like warm summer temperatures? I know Jack does. And how long? Well, Mother Nature's in charge of that. Let's break it down, take a look at some of the numbers. And here we go. Yeah, 9 degrees, the best we can do. There's a few clouds in the Owen Sound area. Everywhere else is clear. Foggy conditions, low-lying fog is what we're looking at for this evening. Dissipates tomorrow morning, and 23 degrees. I think that's acceptable. Sun cloud, we call that fair skies. I think everyone's pretty happy with that as far as temperature and the sun cloud mix. To Orangeville, Bradford, Georgina, Newmarket, Richmond Hill. 8 and 9 degrees overnight. Clearing skies. Some low-lying fog for us to enjoy. Keep in mind if you're heading to the roads or out for a stroll. 24 degrees, sun and cloud for tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Parry Sound, Huntsville, Bracebridge, Gravenhurst, Haliburton. 9 and 11 degrees under partly cloudy skies. The majority of cloud cover is in the northern part of our viewing area. And 22 and 23 degrees tomorrow. A sun and cloud mix. Looks to be an absolutely gorgeous Thursday. That's tonight. Tomorrow. Now, let's take a look at the Diamond and Diamond Lawyers 5-day extended forecast. And it looks like this. Simcoe County. Friday, heading into the weekend, 22 degrees, sun and cloud mix. And then look what happens on Saturday and Sunday. Here comes the cloud cover, advanced cloud cover, and 20 degrees. There is, at this point, a 40% chance of shower activity. Sunday looks like cloudy skies and 19, and 20 degrees on Monday with the cloud holding steady. 5-day extended forecast, York Region. Have a look. Friday, looks like sun and cloud remains, 22 degrees. Feeling good going into the weekend. And then Saturday, well, cloudy skies, 30% chance of a shower, 21 degrees. That 21 wants to stick around for Sunday, where we have plenty of cloud cover. Doesn't look like we have any shower activity, and that, too, wants to stay into Monday, where it's to be 20 degrees. Muskoka, Parry Sound, Haliburton, have a look. And it looks like at this point, the lead up to the weekend, Jack, Saturday, make that Friday, sun and cloud mix and 22, lovely. And then for the weekend, cloudy skies, 60% chance of shower activity, 18 degrees on the Sunday and a 40% chance of rain. So the most cloud cover and the greatest chance of rain, it looks to be in the northern part of our viewing area. And then Monday, it looks like, well, cloudy skies and 20% chance, make that a high of 20 degrees, no chance of shower activity, so that's pretty good. A sunshine, an absolutely beautiful day today, and a beautiful day for a celebration. And let's give a big happy birthday to, there he is there, ladies and gentlemen, Don Wiggins, 99 years old, Toronto born. And he spent a number of years working in the Merchant Marines during the Second World War. He was only 15 years old at the time. Happy birthday. He looks absolutely amazing. Happy birthday from all the family and friends. And being a longtime viewer, certainly happy birthday and a tip of the cap, Don, from all of us here at CTV.
Happy birthday, Don. Now, keeping the forecast in mind, if you're looking for some fun events this weekend, there's plenty happening around the region. Here's Bounce 104 Morning Show, Martin Van Cooy, with your weekend event listings.
Hi, I'm Martin Van Cooy for Bounce Radio, and these are your weekend events for Pure Country 106 and Bounce 104.1. Kicking things off this weekend, there is a cool event happening downtown Coldwater, the Steampunk and Oddity Days, happening September 13th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. There's going to be fantastic costumes, futuristic retro gadgets. There's also going to be stilt walkers, penny farthing bicycle riders, face painting, and a huge vendor market. Plus, at 4 p.m., you can check out the Steampunk Roller Derby. Learn more at coldwatersteampunk.ca. The Terry Fox Run is also happening this Sunday at various locations across Simcoe County. The annual fall tradition is a chance to honor iconic Canadian heroes and continue to raise money for cancer research. You can learn more at run.terryfox.ca. Also this weekend is GBGH's Power of Giving event in Tiny Township. This year's looking like it's going to be a big one too, with live music, gourmet cuisine, and some exclusive auction experiences. It's happening this Saturday with tickets costing $200 each. They have a big goal of raising $300,000, and you can visit give2gbgh.ca to get tickets or make a donation. This weekend also happens to be the 171st Oral World's Fair, and there's so much going on. There's going to be livestock shows, tractor pulls, dog agility shows, live music vendors, and a demo derby. Kid zones will be there as well, so much that it boggles the mind. It's happening at the Oral Fairgrounds, and you can see all the action at oralworldsfair.com. Lastly, don't forget to get your tickets for the Mays Martin Limited Charity Golf Tournament in support of RVH Auxiliary. It's happening September 17th at the National Pines Golf Club in Innisfil. Bounce 104.1, Pure Country 106, and CTV News are actually sponsoring this event. You can learn more at CTV News/Barrie under the highlights section. Those are your weekend events for Bounce 104.1 and Pure Country 106.
Now, speaking of planning ahead for fall fun, Canada's Wonderland is introducing a chaperone policy for kids at this year's Halloween haunt. When the annual event kicks off September 26th, everyone under 16 will need to be accompanied by a chaperone who's at least 21 years old. Canada's Wonderland says the policy is a response to past incidents of unruly behavior. It won't apply during regular daytime hours, but will be in effect starting at 6 o'clock on each of the Halloween haunt nights. From thrills at the theme park to action on the diamond, the Barrie Baycats continued their title defense last night in Game 2 of the IBL Championship Final against the Welland Jackfish.
High fly ball, left field, pretty deep, back at the wall, goodbye!
Just like Game 1, it was a tight, low-scoring battle that had fans on the edge of their seats. The game went into extra innings where Francisco Hernandez sealed the win for the Baycats with a dramatic solo home run. You see it right there. The series is now tied at 1 game apiece with Game 3 tomorrow night in Welland. Coming up, we'll hear from an expert on how to recognize the warning signs of suicide and where to turn for help. A conversation that could save lives. You're watching CTV News Barrie. Recapping our top stories, the City of Barrie has closed the City Hall fountain pond early due to vandalism and people using it as a toilet. Closure comes a day after a state of emergency was declared over growing encampments, including one near City Hall. The pond will remain closed for cleaning and is expected to reopen in the winter for skating. Public engagement sessions hosted by the Department of National Defence got underway today in Creemore and will continue later this evening. The sessions focused on the planned construction of a preliminary long-range Arctic surveillance site in Clearview Township. D&D experts are on hand to answer questions and respond to complaints. A Toronto car dealer cleared of fraud charges is now speaking out, saying the false accusation from police hurt his reputation and business. The Crown dropped 92 charges against Harris Bachneck last month. He's still facing provincial offenses, but says he hopes to clear his name completely. As conversations around mental health continue to grow, World Suicide Prevention Day serves as an important reminder everyone matters. CTV's Sarah Freemark sat down with an expert to learn more on how to best support people who are struggling.
Today marks World Suicide Prevention Day. It's a time to raise awareness and, of course, talk openly about mental health. So joining us now here in the CTV Barrie studio from the Canadian Mental Health Association of Simcoe County is Marla Groves. It's great to have you here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, this is a tough topic, and I encourage people to continue that conversation because that's key. You're saying, let's just start talking.
Yes, 100%. We know that if we have open conversations, that starts to raise awareness and decrease stigma and increase education, and that's where it's really at.
Okay.
Yeah.
Marla, what are some of the statistics that really resonate with you?
So, according to Statistics Canada, one of the things we know is that 12 people die by suicide each day, and that it's the second leading cause of death amongst youth, 15 to 34 years old. So it's quite prevalent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been working with the association now for 11 years,
Yeah.
and you are one of the people that's out there in the community talking about not only resources, which we will get to, but also signs. What should we be looking out for?
So it's not one just thing, like one thing that everybody displays, but some of the things that we notice is that people might, you know, they might isolate, they might be withdrawn, there might be like changes in their mood or their behavior, they might give away their belongings, maybe someone that used to be like a joiner and was always like, you know, active in their community all of a sudden doesn't participate, you know? And then sometimes people that used to be very gloomy all of a sudden are very like kind of happy. And that can be like a little bit like what? Because they are now resolved, you know? So the most...
What do you mean they're resolved? Like they've made up their mind?
They've made up their mind,
oh, wow.
Yeah. So I don't want to put like people in alert and say like, oh, someone's happy now, it means that, no. Like something that important to take away is like, if you're wondering, is this person or my loved one thinking about it, ask. The best way to know is to ask. There's this common like myth of, if I ask, will they start thinking about it? And that's just simply not true.
How do you word that, though, if you're asking somebody that you care about, if they're considering something as serious as suicide?
You ask clearly, like you ask clearly and consistently. You literally, and we do trainings around this, and the question is, are you thinking about suicide? You know, like, and we practice asking that because it can feel uncomfortable
it does.
to ask, right? And what I can tell you is that, and I've done this like working in the community so many times, like when you ask someone clearly, like just clearly like that, hey, Sarah, are you thinking about suicide? If the answer is no, they'll say, no, Marla, not at all. Like, you're way off. And if it is yes, the person will say, yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
Let's leave our viewers with resources today, whether it's perhaps somebody at home who is thinking about this, or a loved one that you're concerned about. What do we do? Where do we begin?
So say the answer is yes. Okay. So then the immediate question is like, so is it now? Is it happening right now? And then the answer would be, if it's yes, then there are many. The answer is that there are many things we can do. So we can call 911. We can sit with the person. We can listen. We can. There are things that we can do in the community, like at Community Mental Health. We offer addiction and mental health supports. We can call the crisis line.
What is the crisis line?
So the crisis line is a service that we offer, and all these services are free of charge, by the way, 24/7, and they have counselors on the line that can help you guide. Do we need to go to the hospital now? Do we need to wait for the ambulance? Do we need to just talk to someone, and then they will help us make a plan and keep the person safe? And there's also, we have a partnership with police officers that have been trained in mental health that can do wellness checks.
Okay.
So there's lots of resources available.
Yeah, well, and there's a slew of information on not only the Canadian Mental Health Association website, but also on the CTV Barrie website as well. Thanks so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
And for getting the conversation started.
Yes,
yeah,
thank
you can revisit this chat on the CTV Barrie website. Let's go ahead and pull that up on the screen. There it is, ctvnews.ca/Barrie.
Moving into markets now, Canada's main stock index got a boost late this morning thanks to gains in base metals and energy stocks, while U.S. markets were more mixed. Let's take a look at where the numbers stand now at the end of the day. The TSX was up 116 points, the Dow was down 220, and the Nasdaq was up just 6. In commodities, oil was up to close to $63.67 a barrel. Gold was down to finish at $36.82 an ounce. And our dollar was down to end the day at 72.18 cents U.S. A new survey by the National Payroll Institute is showing a mixed picture of Canadians' financial health. The new study of over 2,300 working Canadian showed financial stress is down 36% this year compared to 41% last year. More than half say they're trying to save more, up from 42% in 2024. But financial worries are still costly. Over half of workers spend at least 15 minutes a day thinking about money while on the job, leading to an estimated $70 billion in lost productivity. Speaking of stress, breaking up can be tough, but how we handle it is changing. Back in the day, ending a relationship meant a face-to-face conversation, but now many younger people say it's not something to get hung up on. CTV's Andrew Johnson explains.
Canadians, both young and old, can be guilty of it, spending a lot of time with their head buried in their phone.
Conversations are now lost because people are doing this instead.
But a new online poll of 1,000 people is defining a difference in what those growing up with this technology and those adopting it later in life think is appropriate. Take ending a relationship. If we know this is the wrong way...
Berger broke up with me on a Post-it.
On a Post-it?
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, I can't. Don't hate me.
It may be somewhat concerning 29% of Canadians aged 18 to 34, so Gen Z and millennials, prefer to break up with someone over the phone, a text, email, or on an app, compared to just 14% of people aged 55 plus.
Those were the two biggest surprises of the survey, just how much the younger generation, people aged 18 to 34, are turning to online tools for everything, for breaking up with people, for quitting a job.
When it comes to making phone calls, another divide. 58% of the younger crowd report having to phone someone they don't know makes them anxious. Just 35% of the eldest cohort in the survey feels the same way.
Does that make you anxious to phone someone you don't know?
Yeah, I literally avoid doing that.
I got no problem making a phone call, especially if I'm trying to get something done.
How about ordering food? 59% 29% of 18 to 34s use an app, so do 51% of those aged 35 to 54. But for those born in 1970 or earlier, only 32%, with the majority still loyal to a good old-fashioned phone call or going in person.
There's that element of discussing something with another human being. The over 55 wants to have a detailed discussion about the topics of their pizza.
One expert calls it the great oxymoron of our time.
Despite the fact that this technology is remarkably able to connect us, to bring us together, at the same time, it is also disconnecting us. It's isolating us.
And leaving us walking around like this. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Vancouver.
Coming up, the Blue Jays pull off another thrilling comeback win, and they're back on the field tonight, looking to keep the momentum going. You're watching CTV News Barrie.
Join CTV News, Pure Country 106 and Bounce 1041 September 17th at National Pines Golf Club for the Maze Martin Limited Charity Golf Tournament in support of RVH Auxiliary. Your swing will help bring a third MRI to our region and strengthen vital hospital services. Registration at 11:30, shotgun start at 1 p.m. with lunch, buffet dinner, prizes, and a silent auction. Just $1,000 per team of 4. Go to ctvnews.ca/Barrie to register. Let's hit.
Now we'll look at your primetime lineup for tonight. At 8 o'clock, The Rookie. At 9, Match Game. Shark Tank at 10 o'clock, and CTV News at 11. The Blue Jays pulled off a big comeback last night against the Astros.
Guerrero, and a ground ball to first. Strong coming home, and the Blue Jays win it.
Catcher Tyler Heineman drove home the winning run in the 10th to beat the Astros 4-3. The Jays now lead the Yankees by 3 games in the AL East and are tied for the most comeback wins in the majors. Jose Berrios gets the start tonight, and first pitch is just minutes away. Fans of the Montreal Expos were promised big news today by a social media account linked to the former team. It turned out to be a new documentary coming to Netflix.
3-2 pitch, a ground ball towards the second baseman, the throw to first, and the Expos are history.
The Expos called Montreal home for 35 years. Now the documentary, Who Killed the Montreal Expos, will look at the team's rise and fall and the heartbreak that remains for die-hard fans. It premieres October 21st. Jeopardy contestants could have used an assist when it came to a clue about the NHL.
Canadian girlfriends for 600.
Leon Draisaitl stars for this northernmost NHL team, but went to warmer Spain to propose to Celeste Desjardins. Ian.
Who are the Winnipeg Jets?
No. Edmonton is further north. Ian.
Oilers superstar Leon Draisaitl has won the NHL's MVP award and previously led the league in points and goals scored. The first opportunity to try to get your hands on a FIFA World Cup ticket has now begun. Visa card holders can sign up for a 9-day draw for all matches. A random draw will be held after the pre-sale closes. It's a family reunion of sorts in England. It's making headlines all over the world. It's hard to see, but that is Prince Harry in the back seat, arriving at Clarence House today, the London home of his father, King Charles. Multiple reports suggest the two had a private meeting over tea after not seeing each other since 2024 over a royal family rift. Now time to check in with Casey one last time for our Get Up and Go. Casey.
And when you're enjoying your morning tea, perhaps at 7 a.m., the Get Up and Go will look like this. Let's have a look. And here we go at 7 o'clock in the morning. Fair skies, sunny cloud. Barrie, 11 degrees, 10 in Newmarket, and 11 degrees in Gravenhurst. Across the board, it looks like fair skies. Have yourself a fantastic evening, everyone.
That's your newscast for tonight. I'll be back with your news at 11.